Good morning, everyone. It's me. Today is December 27th, 2025 at 8:12 a.m. I said that I was going to show you my Telegram group, and the reason for this is to show you exactly what I put on here and what is available to you to use as a resource. Now, what I didn't expect is what Elena Danaan did with it, and what I would suggest is that you do not take this information and try to come up with some type of grift, scam, or con, because you will be caught. Absolutely. So before we move on, because I'm going to scroll up to the top of this group, which is what I suggest everyone do, I am going to make a video about what I discovered last night on Michael Sala's Telegram group. I actually joined the group, which is the first group that I've joined since I've recreated this channel, okay? Because this channel has been recreated about, I think this is the third version. I deleted the first two due to my emotional and mental instability that was caused when Elena Danaan, took on her Anunnaki, what's that called? Her path there with that, and switched from like Galactic Federation to there. And I knew I was tagging her at the time on my group, so she most likely found it that way. So that's my fault, but please don't do that. So let's go all the way up. It might take me a moment. Actually, I know how I can get there very fast. Hold on. Because my very first post would be this almost. Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah, so here we are, July 23rd, 2024. This is my channel. And so my very first post was about the jabs, and you can go and read that. We're not going to focus too much on it. Not that it's not important, but people get really triggered by that. And then we have The Gods of Eden by William Bromley, and you can download the PDF right here. It is the book, and it shows you like the summary of what's on the back of it. And then, so I have all these books. So I started with Gnostic Christianity, the Nag Hammadi Dead Sea Scrolls, the Lost Gospels, Essenes, Jesus Christ, the King James Bible, the Gospel Teachings. So there's a lot of books that you can download here. I have them all on my computer myself. That's where I got them from. I got them from an online library, actually, that was a free resource for books, so I collected all of this. Okay, so there's lots of stuff about esoteric Christianity, all kinds of stuff like that. Then we have the DMT Spirit Molecule, books on the astral plane. I have David Wilcock's books that I found. They're out there on PDF forms on the internet everywhere. The Holographic Universe, the Fifth Gospel, the Emerald Tablet books, the Convoluted Universe. There's a couple versions of those. The Law of Light. So there's a lot of different stuff. There's the Fourth Dimension, and I think it's the mathematics and stuff like that. I forget what it is. Symbols and mathematics, sacred geometry, I think, is in that one. Then there's Becoming Supernatural by that doctor. I forget what his name is, but I've seen him on Gaia. So these are kind of like really good, mentally stimulating books that I find help your blossoming of understanding about how, because it's kind of a supernatural process where I talk about it become being like a superhero. I know it sounds so ridiculous, but that's why sometimes it's good to read these books, because it helps the mind um, understand the concept and be able to adapt to seeing it in that kind of a perspective. You know what I mean? So, not sure why Beyond the Poles is in that one exactly. That might have been a mistake, but I have that one in another post anyway. So, like, yeah, so an information library. So, I have a lot of stuff about secret societies, Freemasonry. There's the Illuminati card game itself, so you can look at the whole deck. Signs and symbols, New World Order, stuff like that. Secret history. Oh, okay. Whoops, I went too far. So then there's like alkaline herbal medicine for the electric body, health through God's pharmacy. I talk about that one a lot. Cannabis extracts in medicine. There's qigong, energy healing, permanent healing, pranic healing. And then we have ether tech. There's some books, insiders. I don't remember who all these are from, but again, they are on PDF format. You can find them even on the Internet Archive. So I just collected a big collection here. The Pulsar Project, that might be what that pulse thing was that I had in my dream. I don't know, but I should probably look at that later. So I hope that you can read these for yourself. So here are copies of Elena Danon's book. See, this is why I was worried about, like, I mean, eventually I won't be so worried, because I think the most important thing is that people will read my books when they're out, but I worried about putting them on e-Kindle, like, you know, like a little download file, because, well, clearly people can figure out how to download them, right? But then, again, somebody could just scan it. I talked about this before, and someone mentioned that, so whatever. So we have Mary Rodwell's books, The New Human. Again, yeah, Beyond the Poles, that was a mistake, so I put that in that up there in that other download by accident. So we have the Ice Wall stuff, Terra Infinita, Claudio Nocelli, Antarctica. There's some really old books too, like I'm a Giannini. Oh, geez, help me. Yeah, Smoky God, and the Navigator Across the Ice Walls. So here we have esoteric philosophies, metaphysical stuff. Occult means hidden. Spiritual, Vedic, flat earth, antediluvian, electromagnetic, Atlantis, law of one. So the secret teachings of all ages is here. Initiates of the Flame, the Philosopher's Stone, Encyclopedia of Ancient and Forbidden Secrets, Encyclopedia of Science in the Ancient World, Lao Tzu, The Way of the Tao, The Demons of Solomon in the Underworld. There's that other one about the fourth dimension again. Myths and Symbols of Vedic Astrology, the Jinn and Human Sickness. So there's lots of different books here. There's Atlantis, the Antediluvian World. The Book of Earths is pretty cool. Living the Law of One. Magical, medical means, illnesses in the ancient world, I believe. But these are all due to like metaphysical, etheric type of things having to do with, parasitic entities, jinn, stuff like that. So I have a lot of books from Dolores Cannon, The Convoluted Universe, The Custodians, Three Waves of Volunteers. Okay, so I also use this to advertise like my videos, you know, or lives and stuff like that, okay? Which is what I mostly do now because I've posted so much before on this channel. This is why I'm making this video. So we have the Ring of Fire, the John Chang thing, and this is about, directing your chi, your life force, and your energy, right? And I would say this is a type of energy healing for sure. And I always found this interesting. So I have some, as much as I could find on this. And again, this is what the superpowers were like in the past. I know that sounds funny, but it is a science that we just don't understand that is going on within us. So, yeah. Yeah, an electrical discharge, you could control the output, but again, it would be something a lot more powerful and to the extreme. So I talk about everyone is astral spirit travel, dreaming, lucid dreaming at some points in their lives with their 7 bodies. Yes, there are 7 of you, just like with me. I was looking for something called the 7 my whole life, and it turns out it's not 6 others, it's 6. It's 6 of my other selves, also known as Jacob's Ladder. This is incredible. I was looking for that my whole life. Since I was 10, I've been searching for this group of heroes, superheroes, and it's not even that. I'm laughing over here, and it's okay to laugh. It's funny. So, yeah, there's like different versions of you. They're the same person, but it's like your emotional body, your mental body, physical, spiritual, etheric, astral, mental, like um it it all has to be combined, all of these things, and then spirit and matter combines. I am not an expert at this. I haven't gotten far enough to be able to explain it any further or demonstrate it, but I left all of this here because I am learning and sharing what I learn along with everyone as best as I could. And this is why I've been documenting things. So, Jacob's Ladder that leads to the stars, again, that is symbolic. You're not actually going to space and the stars, but it does lead you to understand what all that is. So, we have, I believe this is Simon Kimbangu Toko. So this was a person in Africa who David Wilcock wrote in his books and called him Black Jesus. But this is the actual information about that individual. And he did have some incredible abilities. He was a spiritual teacher. There's a lot of interesting stories about him from people that at the time it was recorded, they were alive to talk about it. So even that he summoned an army of what they called cherubim. But again, I said that these beings are of the spiritual hierarchy, and the people said that they looked like little gray aliens. I found that to be really interesting. So yeah, I was releasing my book at that time. Of course, I took it back down due to the fact that I realized that there was so much deception going on with extraterrestrials and aliens and the agendas surrounding that. And I just felt vulnerable again to be putting out my absolute truth when people have put out exaggerated stories and all of that, and made it seem like something that it's not, right? Which is highly distasteful and wrong. So these posts here, it goes into about, Daniel Neems, and he did experiments with energy vision and seeing into different dimensions, like I talked about with the color spectrum and our vision of our light spectrum of vision. So this is what that involves a bit more. And so I tried to find as much as I could about that, okay? And so he has this technology where, and I know a lot of people debate these pictures. I've read everything that you could say about it, but some of the beings that he's photographed, I I have heard and seen about before. So it's just pretty interesting that came about. Again, I was talking about my book. I'm going to try and figure this out as soon as I can and finish my second book and get myself together. But okay, so then I have some documentaries and movies. Shag Harbor, alien autopsies in Roswell, things that I found interesting. My mom talks to aliens, videos I made. So there's my Anunnaki stuff. I think at one point I didn't have a chat for a while, so that's the trailer about Defending Your Life, that movie there that shows you about the afterlife. It even tells you in this movie where it says Hollywood's been trying to tell you about the afterlife for a very long time, even just in that trailer of that movie. So you can watch that whole movie right there on BitChute. Here's some UFO landings at schools. I know a lot of people debate Dr. Jonathan Reed as well, but the one thing that I find about his case is that the way that he describes it clearly describes what a dimensional being would be like, and that's not an alien. Again, interdimensional being and alien is not the same. When people hear alien, they think that it's a being that flew in from Mars, and that's not accurate. I truly believe that they're only alien because we forgot what they really were. So I found some of the Virginia UFO incident is really good. The Turkey UFO is one of my favorites, where there's really good footage with that, and you can see beings on the craft of the Turkey UFO. It's so cool. And of course, like, I talk about that. I say why I believe him, just because of the things that he has said about it, especially what happened with his dog. This is the kind of powers and abilities that these beings would have, basically like dust you out of existence. And it can be pretty brutal. Of course, they can use their mental abilities to decide how that goes. Like I was talking about the electrical energy output. Well, that's the same with like a psychic energy output. So that's how it physically manifests outside of you, because you're accessing the aether because they're part of it. That's how he was able to dust his dog. And he didn't have to do it that painfully, but unfortunately, he probably ran into something that wasn't so nice. You know what I mean? Again, I talked about it where you have to put yourself in the position of this being where Dr. Reed's dog had a hold of it by the arm, and dogs a lot of the time will react to paranormal, supernatural activity, ghost activity within the home, and beings like this, because some of them do have darker intentions or parasitical intentions. And again, this is why these beings will sometimes hurt people's pets in the home. You will hear this in paranormal stories and shit like that. This is why. But I always found that. Now, I know that everything about it, like, again, he may be one of those people that exaggerated stuff or added in, I don't know. But I did watch all of this No Boo Boo Me. No, it's actually Nobody But Me, but it's No Bo Boo Me. This channel here that I have indicated. I watched all of these, and that's a really, really good interview. It's quite long and it's quite thorough. So, yeah, and he did an alien autopsy. He has pictures of that. So I always thought that that was really interesting, even just to look at. It gave me something, a lot of things to think about, and I've talked about that. This is about the age of deception. So it says, according to Rudolf Steiner, the Ahrimanic deception involves the growing influence of Ahriman, a spiritual being associated with materialism and intellectual rigidity, who is expected to incarnate in human form in the future. It's kind of like the Antichrist, I suppose. Steiner warned that Ahrimanic forces manipulate humanity through the dominance of scientific and materialistic worldviews. Like scientific meaning like, how NASA tells us about planets and Mars and space and stuff like that. And I know that might be a bit difficult for some people to realize that we may have been deceived in such a way. I just don't have the energy to go all into it. I will again, but interdimensional and alien are two different things. So when you switch into another dimension, you're going through another space. But the outer space may not be, like I said, what we are told it is. So that's what it's talking about. Scientific and materialistic worldviews, about getting money and blah, 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 and how everyone's now trying to get to as many subscribers and make money on YouTube and all of this stuff, and how greed has taken over, materialistic worldviews, encouraging people to believe in absolute truth of mechanistic and mathematical concepts, which are actually illusions. This deception disconnects humanity from spiritual realities and prepares the way for Ahriman's physical incarnation, which he could lead mankind deeper into materialism and intellectual chaos, unless individuals awaken to spiritual knowledge and maintain the balance between the forces of Ahriman and Lucifer, guided by the Christ impulse. So again, I woke up this morning and I was thinking about Neuralink. Now, they want to give people Neuralink because it's an artificial form of what humanity's already capable of without it. Telepathy and all of this kind of stuff, okay? Which these beings that most people call aliens have they have demonstrated with their abilities, okay, that they're not aliens, they're beings of the spiritual realm. And that, I believe, is part of the deception. So this, it's in Rudolf Steiner's urgent warning to humanity, which is the reason why I believe he came and contacted me through the spiritual realm. And he doesn't talk to me or anything, just helps me to relay certain information. I get intuitive pings about certain stuff where I know that it is important. So again, here's Jesus with the whole UFO thing, leading back to that joke that I was talking about, the Jesus Space Army. Again, I believe this. Yeah, I probably should have deleted that. But again, I made a mistake about the Asura, thinking that it was a real being in a location. This is a while ago. I explained about that. And then I just didn't want people to get the wrong idea about what this being actually was, so I removed that content. Okay, so before this is too long, because I don't even know how long I've been talking, this is a post about giants and other cryptids. Okay, I've got a lot of information here. I'm just going to go a little bit faster. We're not going to, well, we're almost to the bottom of the group anyway, so I have lots and lots and lots of stuff on here, okay? This is an audio book, Invisible Helpers. This is also to teach you about how soul school works and initiation, what lies beyond the helpers, which are like your spirit team and stuff like that. It's a really interesting, good one. Again, it involves Theosophy, Helena Blavatsky, and stuff like that, which I explained that I just had, I didn't really know why at first, a connection with these people in the spirit realm. But now I do, because I believe that there's a certain important truth that needs to be rectified here. So this is about breakaway civilizations and how I came to understand that, and solar beings and stuff like that. And I talked about this in other videos, but there's lots of information. Here is my live, I believe, about that. Knowledge of the higher worlds and its attainment, dream life, consciousness, and initiation. That was a live I did a while ago. So I've tried to talk about these things before. This is The Lost Kingdoms of Africa. It's an excellent documentary series about that, and about how it shows that everywhere in the world had like this advanced technology age. So I feel like with this, it's a symbolism and allegory of the Bible thing. But again, they had changed it to keep their ultimate control over people, because people were not relating with the Old Testament God anymore. So, okay, I hope that I have shown you enough. Of course, the unseen realm and the afterlife, the astral worlds. Now, a lot of this stuff with like Orion Wars, Lyra Wars, and stuff like this is astral world stuff like that, right? So this is a spiritual thing. It doesn't mean that it's not real. It's just another part of reality, the other half of our life. We have a physical and a spiritual life. So Michael Heiser's Aliens and Demons is in this one. There's a lot of stuff from him here, which I really liked. He passed away from cancer, which was really sad, but he was a blessing when he was here with us and shared a lot of his wisdom and knowledge and stuff that he had learned. And it shows a lot about, angels and demons, aliens is all spiritual realm stuff, and it is indeed connected because they are higher dimensionals, which are angels, and lower dimensionals, which are technically demons. But then there's also subhuman creatures, which are also interdimensional beings, which is like Bigfoot. Okay? So that was really nice. I enjoyed learning about all that. So avatars of the astral world. So when Corey Good talks about the Anshar being an avatar of the astral world, this is what he's talking about. It's for astral travel. You're not actually getting off your couch and going anywhere. I talked about the Claustrum's oil, Jacob's ladder, Santos Bonanchi's, maybe a little bit of stuff about that, and how things changed in 1776. Okay. So 7 root races. I did some research in Manly P. Hall. So everything that you see today, from Star Trek to Starseeds, comes from this group of people. Everything was inspired from these teachings. And both Star Trek and the secret societies like Manly P. Hall was part of it. And they believed in a one-world government. And it seems for sure there is a chaos to order agenda. Star Trek is a new world order. It has no money. It is a representation of this federation, a higher military above our regular military. Technically the secret space program. Okay, so I didn't actually know. Well, yeah, I guess it is. It is a secret space program. It's just not exactly how they presented it. So things have changed a little bit. But this one was a good one, The Great Destiny of America, and it shows how it says the secret destiny of America and America's assignment with destiny. Focusing on often forgotten moments in history, Manly P. Hall proposes that there was a great plan put forth 1,000 years ago before our nation's founding. Humanistic and mystical organizations wished for the continent to be the location for an experiment in self-government and religious freedom. As one of the leading esoteric scholars of the 20th century, Hall offers an intriguing view of our past, discussing everything from symbolism of the Great Seal of the U.S. to the prophecy announced at George Washington's birth. So I thought that was really interesting to watch. So this again shows about the spiritual realms in different cultures. Like I was talking about the bird people that Corey Good talked about. But there's legends of this all around the world. So warriors of, I don't know how to say that word, but plunges viewers into a mystical realm where the majestic Garuda, powerful beings of light and wisdom, clash with the monstrous Raksa, dark entities of chaos and destruction. The war between these two ancient forces has erupted into a widespread conflict, threatening to engulf the entire world in devastation. So again, this is like symbolism and allegory. You learn from these types of things. And I think that's what Corey Good thought that he was doing with his stuff. You know what I mean? But I don't agree with that. He did not. So, okay. Oh my goodness. So I have a lot of stuff from, this is about galactic federations and breakaway civilizations. So October 6, 2024, that's when I heard that the Asura called Claudio a magi. And I was so upset because I started to understand that there's different levels of thinking and all of that. So you can read that post. That's really interesting. And there's a video about it. And like, oh my gosh, because you just realize how people are using their intelligence, and it's just absolutely shocking. It's cool, but it's shocking. Anyway, so that's basically it. I post a lot of stuff that I can't post about on YouTube. And, it's because it's controversial, and it's not that it's taboo or dirty or anything like that. It's just, I'm here explaining about my CPTSD and informing people about that. Yeah. So, I hope that you check it out. You can even just go online, I think, and go on it and see a preview of it, I think. I don't think it'll show you the whole thing. But, yeah. So I talk about the age of deception a lot in here. This particular post is about Alex Collier. This has to do with the etheric, astral, spirit realms. It's all creations that came before us and from us. Some are created by creators, and some, so like some of these people are just making up they're inner dimensional, so like beings that are from within them, because we also have an inner universe as well as an outer universe. If this is all new to you, I apologize, but this is how you can learn exactly how the things that I learned. They may be better than me, but I did a lot of research over time, and I tried to post about it. So, cycles of the universe, the yugas, the multiverse, how consciousness morphs through the yugas. That's the cycles of time. So sometimes I get pretty upset, but that's okay. I still leave that up so people can understand what I've gone through. More medbed stuff. To explain about angel numbers. Anyway, I think I'm just going to leave it here. I talk about the whole transgender thing on here. Oh yeah, there's that person making a fucking professional victim. Fucking asshole. So damn rude of people. I got that taken down though, because it's harassment and bullying. That's really harassment and bullying. When I have like an actual condition that affects my life and my personal relationships and all of that, and it fucking sucks. And then this person's going to be an asshole like that. There's still some of these around, but not as much as this one was. And they kept taking pictures of me and making accounts, and it was really horrible. But YouTube took it down because it's against community policy, man. It was just terrible. I had to report the whole thing. Anyway. So yeah. Who was this? Oh, I don't know. But I tried to post as much important stuff to share what I was learning at the time when I was learning it, also to document my journey, And it changes things that I was feeling with the energies. This is how I realized, like, about stuff with the sun, with M flares and stuff like that. I started to realize it was with posts like this, because I would realize about the sun, different flares, supermoons, and how it was affecting my body, how the sun and the moon was affecting my physical vessel. And that I was following stuff like this and kind of paying attention to how things affected me. And I thought that was really interesting to learn about myself and how the sun and the moon, the outside, affects our solar power on the inside, and the waters of the body, which would be the moon, our fire and water within, and the fire and the water on the outside. It's really incredible, this journey, stuff that I've just discovered about my inner and outer worlds. Stuff about the sixth sense and human superpowers, magnetic fields and extrasensory perception. Oh, that's that one there that I was watching. What is it? Scientific implications of psychic abilities and stuff like this. These were the ones I was watching the night that I saw that craft in July of 2017. This is those Russell Targ ones. There's that TED Talk, and then the other one that I'd watch. So I was just getting into this kind of stuff, and I had no idea at the time that Russell Targ was part of the, Project Stargate Gateway, the Gateway tapes, or whatever that stuff was. He's an interesting individual, and I did not know that at the time when I saw that craft. That's really interesting. So I have that posted there. This is the playlist about magnetism. That's really interesting. And Ken Wheeler is in that. He explains magnetism pretty well. I've had to watch the videos several times, and I can't explain it to you, but he can. So remote viewing from the inside out with Russell Targ, all of these I thought were incredible talks. So that's why I shared all this stuff. And I mean, I'm not trying to get, subscribers or whatever like that. This was really funny. The history of farting in artwork. I thought that was so funny. This video, it's pretty good though, because it has this ridiculous humor side, but it's interesting in its symbolism and stuff like that. Look out, magicians. I was laughing so hard. I thought that was so funny. Fart magic. I forgot about that. Yeah. But it's about different ways of thinking. I know some people might think that's ridiculous, but it's about different ways of thinking and perspectives. I mean, if you could see, it's almost like the element of air and intellectualism. I fart in your general direction, sir. It's like a insult intellectually. So again, now Commodity Sea Scrolls and stuff. I'm getting tired. But I hope you check it out. I think I will stop there. So, yeah. Okay. So, I hope you enjoyed that. I don't know how long this is. I hope it wasn't too long. Oh, 40 minutes. That's way too long. I might have to cut this big time. Dang. Well, maybe not. Okay, well, I'm going to go then. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate you watching this video. I did not intend it to be this long, but at least you got to see a lot of the content on my Telegram channel. Take care. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Happy New Year. Bye.